And we back on my channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me, as always, is my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, like, share, and subscribe. Just do it all.
Yes, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. Any reviews or recaps that I do not do on my channel, we do on Mrs. Best channel. So she actually has Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, which we still recap. And then she's picking up Queen's Court, which will probably be premiering on a day that's to be determined because we don't know
Oh,
yet.
it premieres tonight on Bravo. My DVR is already recording it.
Yeah, but I don't know when we'll do the recap for it. That's what I was saying. We're doing that
Oh,
tomorrow.
I'm doing it on Monday.
Okay, so yeah, and then so Monday we have two videos lined up for you guys. Monday, Real Housewives of Potomac is back tonight, so we'll be premiering that on my channel, and then we'll do Queen's Court on Mrs. Best channel, which I cannot wait because that just looks so promising. Shout out to Jim Bunny, who's already in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, love. We appreciate you so much. But yes, make sure you guys subscribe to both channels so y'all can get the what's up on both shows that are coming back and premiering on our channels. So without further ado, y'all are here today for, oh my goodness, Nia Green is in the chat. She got the notification, y'all. We happy for you, Nia, because I've missed you so much. So thank you for joining us, love. We appreciate you. So, but y'all are here for Love and Marriage Detroit Season 2, Episode 5, Taking Out the Trash. Literally. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Carlos, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. But anyways, we'll get to that scene when we get to that scene because y'all don't want to miss this. But the scene opens up as Christina's surprise party is here. I didn't think they were going to go with this first, but they sure enough did. And from what we understand, Chelsea and another one of Christina's friends, I think her name was Leah, was throwing the party. And as they're getting everything set up, Brandon walks in. He's very impressed on what they did. It was, no, I was like, okay, not a lot of decorations, but hey, it's not my party, so I don't really care. Good job, Chelsea and Leah. The Thompsons, which is Anthony, Dr. Latoya, aka Dr. Minnie Mouse. Y'all love when I call her that. So they show up, and immediately if there's this kind of stank between Leah and Chelsea. Leah was like, "Was that him? That's the man who did it." And she go, "That's him. That's him." And so they walk up to Brandon because they're all three standing there. So they, Dr. Latoya and Anthony walk up to Brandon and the girls, and they were like, "Hey, oh my God, it looks so nice in here." And Dr. Latoya said, "I know I said I wasn't coming to the party, but after talking it over with Anthony, he said that I should come." And then they showed a sneak peek of what was supposed to be in the episode, but wasn't. And I was like, she could have easily stayed at home. Like, we didn't really need her in the scene. She doesn't do much anyway. So, I mean, what's the point? So, immediately, Brandon kind of pulled, and I'm surprised that he did this because he was all in his confession talking about he wanted to keep the peace and everything. So, he actually brings up, the situation with Chelsea and Dr. Latoya. And he was like, "Is there anything y'all want to say about that night? And anything?" And Chelsea was all like, "No, I have nothing to say. I mean, my energy was intentional. It was intentional for her to hear it." And Dr. Latoya said, "Oh, it was intentional." She said, "Yeah, because you were catching the brunt of what was supposed to go to your husband." And Anthony was all like, "Look, I'm not addressing you. I'm not doing any of this." And I said, "Oh, so now you don't want to address her. You can embarrass her season one by calling her a bird and a little girl." And this was what pissed me off about this scene is when Dr. Toya said, after Chelsea apologized, "Look, nobody called you out your name, right?" And I would have been like, "No, he did call. He called me a little girl. He called me a bird. That's calling me. My name ain't bird. My name ain't little girl." But Chelsea kept it cute and said, "No, he didn't call me out my name." And I said, "Chelsea, you a fool." Because I definitely would have took that moment to say, "No, he called me exactly what he called me and embarrassed me on national TV. He absolutely did the most in that scene." Mrs. Best, would you have handled it that same way or would you have taken the Chelsea approach?
Um, I probably honestly would have done what Chelsea did because it's my best friend's birthday party. There's a time and a place. If I'm not intending to be friends with them in real life, then I'm gonna just let it go and not deal with them. Cause she only make a peace for Christina. Chelsea don't like them people.
Would see me, I'm different. See, I would have been like Mrs. Best ain't show up to the party. So yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity and when she get here, I'll shut up. No, yeah, I probably would have went off. I'm sorry. That's just me because that could have had further even though we didn't remember this and this wasn't really a show that was popular like that when it first started, because everybody was kind of throwing this off to the wolves. We surprised Carlos got a second season for this or second season for this show, but it was kind of like, damn, like he really went in on that girl and she held her own, but it was like to see a man do that, I would be every time I see you would have been something. So I got my apology. And the fact that he don't feel like he should have apologized to her, that was crazy. So Christina gets to the party after all the guests arrive. We have Colby and Russell get there. We had Lakeitha and Bravo, they were there. And once Christina get there, she's surprised. Everybody standing up clapping for her. And she did look genuinely like, oh my God, I can't believe Brandon pulled this off. And she's happy, she's, emotional, and then he gets down on one knee, pulls out the ring, gives her a whole little cute little speech. And I guess it won her over. I'm not gonna recite the speech because it wasn't no effort really put into that. He just don't want to be at his mama house. So they all crowd around at the table, and Chelsea is seated across from Colby and Russell, Dr. Minnie Mouse, and Anthony. And she Christina notices that there's tension because everybody just stared at each other. And this is the first time that Colby and Chelsea are really seeing each other since that night. So they're kind of like, oh, like not really feeling it. So Christina's like, why is this so, what's wrong? What did I miss? Why is there so much tension at the table? So Dr. Biddy Mouse takes a point. She goes, well, me and Chelsea had a moment when it came to picking out your ring. And it was some words exchanged, but Chelsea has apologized. And Colby said, who does she apologize to? And Latoya said she apologized to me and you. And she goes, okay. And this is where Colby takes a moment to say, yeah, you don't call a pregnant woman out her name. I am carrying a baby. You don't understand that. Like, you don't understand what that does and all of this. And I'm looking at her like, the hell you being pregnant got to do with what we're talking about here? Dr. Latoya says she apologized, and instead of you just sitting there just eating your food, you making it apparent that she called a pregnant woman out her name. Ooh, we well, wow. Like Chelsea said, okay, see now you're doing too much because you should have just taken the apology. And first of all, you should even have inserted yourself in that conversation. That was between me and Latoya. Why you jumped in it, I have no idea. And she goes, well, you're in a room full of people making a conversation. And I'm looking at Colby like, Colby, no, 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 no. Colby, this was not for you to do. Mrs. Best, I need you to interject now because I'm going to go off and she's pregnant at this moment. But how did you feel about Colby inserting the fact that she's pregnant and that should have been a reason for Chelsea not to address her or not to say anything?
That's bullshit. You being pregnant don't matter. If you don't want to be in no stuff and you care about protecting the peace of your pregnancy, then stay out of shit that don't bother you. And she jumped into their conversation, which she had absolutely nothing to do with, for no reason whatsoever. Colby doesn't understand her place, and please don't go using your pregnancy as a reason to act a fool. It is not a reason to act a fool. It's also not okay to shame women who have chosen to not be pregnant, especially when you pregnant and you didn't even want the damn baby that you got. Mind your business before you come for other people. And that also shows me, I feel like she thinks that the audience will be easier on her because she's pregnant this season, and that's not the case. Yes, pregnant women are more emotional. Yes, they are carrying life, but that does not give them the right to act a fool. It just doesn't. If they cry or something, fine. But if they going off attacking people, jumping in the drama that has nothing to do with them, and then using their pregnancy as a reason to not be checked, then no. So I didn't like how she did that. I'm sick of Colby.
Well, here's the thing. Unless the producers left something out, because that's the only reason why I would feel like Kobe would be vindicated is if they left something out where maybe Chelsea addressed the both of them. But Chelsea did say that she was only addressing Dr. Latoya, which she was in her right because of what happened.
And
She
even so, there are pregnant women, or there are women who deal with pregnant women for a living, like Dr. Jackie on Married to Medicine, who have never had children, who are advising you of things as a pregnant woman. So Kobe tried it in this moment. Um, I'm getting annoyed with her and her little grudge holdings and how she moves as a whole, complaining about the husband and having the help that most people wish they had. Kobe getting on my nerves. It's giving spoiled.
It is given spoiled. I was just gonna say, it's given spoiled. It's given entitled. It's giving, you know, nerves are not really transcending in this pregnancy, and it's because she didn't act like this first season. I was actually on her side with every disagreement or argument she's had with anybody else on the cast, mainly Christina. So for her to come this season pregnant and then not really showing up in ways and wanting to have this realization where she doesn't have to be happy about the gender, and if she can get into arguments with people but then use the pregnancy as a scapegoat for her to then be a victim, it's like I can't deal with that. I'm sorry. I tried with Kobe. I really am, but I'm not liking her this season. I'm really not. It has nothing to do with her not liking the gender or her not wanting to be pregnant 6 months after this baby. That has nothing to do with it because that shit is crazy all within itself. But her behavior is completely deplorable. I'm sorry. Like, that is crazy that she even took that moment to even bring up that pregnancy when that's not even what the conversation was about. It had nothing to do with her. She should have just sat there and ate her food, or she should have sat there at that, jewelry store and said, Brandon, when you picking out this ring so we can hurry up and go? Yeah. And that's what this part right here. You can't use a baby to make it to active food. You just can't. Like, in pregnancy and all this. That's crazy to me. But Christina shuts it down and she goes, look, we here for my birthday. I'm not trying to, get into it. We need to make amends. And she checks on Kobe to make sure Kobe's okay. Because remember, Kobe is pregnant. So she wants to make sure Kobe is okay. And then Christina does something that was even more wild than this crazy ass conversation. Christina brings up Kim. Now I said, Christina, out of all the moments you can bring this lady up. Hey, Shayna, thank you for joining us, love. Out of all the moments you can bring this lady up, you're going to bring her up at this dinner where it was already heated. Dr. Minnie Mouse over there taking notes so she can run back and tell her. But maybe that was a part of her plan from the get go. I don't know. But Christina takes this moment to talk about Kim. And she was talking about how they went to dinner and, the four of them, which is Dr. Minnie Mouse, Colby, Kim, and Christina. And they were talking, they put all the cards on the table. She, had a moment with Kim, and then she said Kim started acting up with them tears and they didn't move her like they would have years ago. Now, I understood what she was saying to some extent. I did, but I felt like that was a moment that she probably should have had a conversation with the collective two of them, which I mean Colby and Dr. Minnie Mouse. She should have put them to the side and said, look, I appreciate y'all taking us to dinner, trying to get me and Kim to mend our fences, but I wasn't moved by what she said. I wasn't moved by what she did because she still has not explained why we have an issue, which Kim hasn't. Kim hasn't explained why they have an issue. All she's mentioned so far is this Android versus iPhone argument she had with a friend. That's all she's mentioned. She has not mentioned the deep core of what Christina really did do. Even in this episode, we still didn't get a real fond explanation of what did she do. So for me, I was like, it was a poor tasted moment for me. I don't want to discuss all the things she said, but because that was pretty much the gist of it. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about her bringing up Kim at her birthday dinner?
I think she just did it because knowing it would get back to Kim. But either way, it was stupid. In my opinion, it seemed like Kim wants the moment. If you always spoke in 6 years, then why put the energy into this lady coming on the show, clearly trying to have a moment? So I don't think she should have said it, but it is what it is, and it'll get back to her.
Yeah, that's because I feel like that's who told. I feel like it was Dr. Minnie Mouse who told her what happened at that birthday party. Allegedly, because we can't prove she did it, but I feel like that's who told her. So, moving on from there, we then have another scene of not Kobe, Brandon and Christina. They go up to the Star Factory, which is Brandon's business, and when they get there, it was kind of ramsacked. He had some tenants in there, and I guess they were having some kind of party or something happened where all the footage shows was some women getting into it, and then one woman got left, so she started tearing up the place, and I was like, okay, That didn't look professional at all. Who were the tenants? Why did they do this? Why did they leave the girl? What happened here? Like, there was so much left out of this context. So, as they're cleaning up, they have to figure out whether if they can press charges criminally, that way they can claim the insurance claim on the damaged property, or if they go after it civilly because directly they can't prove that it was a criminal act because the people technically didn't break into the building. They were tenants or they were friends of tenants and they just destroyed the property. And I was like, I felt two ways about this, but before I give my opinion, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about this scene with Brandon's business getting ransacked?
It's a studio. You should have security there. You, as the owner, could be in a different room. I mean, it could have been prevented, but like Christina told him, you need to be careful of the people you allow to have studio time. You need to charge them deposits with actual credit cards or charge a huge cash deposit and not give it back until after you see the state of the studio. But based on the footage, I think it'll probably be criminal because that girl admitted, I'm about to tear all this mess up, and the tenant was not there at that moment, so it's likely criminal because she intentionally vandalized the place. But I mean, it happens with recording studios, so I'm not surprised.
No, I know that happens. Yeah, I've seen it happen before as well. But would she? Because I feel like wouldn't it be the tenant that would be responsible? But since that was a guest of his,
Yeah, but she's caught red-handed on camera saying she's intentionally going to tear it up. So that's an admission of guilt. So it depends. If they do it the civil route, the tenant will be responsible. If it goes the criminal route, the girl will be responsible. Either way, that's why they don't have nice things in certain areas because people come in there and they act a fool. And that's what people need to stop doing.
I agree because that was just crazy. Watching that footage back, I was like, wow, like y'all just really be going up in people's places, just tearing them up. And this is supposed to be business, even though it's music, and sometimes the lines get blurred with that. But it's still supposed to be in somewhat professional. Everybody had on shower caps and bonnets, and people were showing their stomachs. It wasn't a good scene. And I'm just looking at Brandon like, yeah, I get kids, they pay up for that studio time, but at the same time, yeah, like Christina said, you need to have a management here. And so he actually proposes to Christina, why don't you do that? Why don't you be the property manager? And she goes, I got too much going on. I'm not gonna do that. Like, are you like I would help you clean this place up, get it remodeled and everything for the next time, and then we can look at hiring somebody. And I don't blame Christina because I wouldn't want to do that either. Like I wouldn't want to property manage anything. Like, no, you can get somebody in here to do that, and then you need to get in, like Mrs. Best said, you need to get some security. You need to make sure, or you need to have a proximity hour where can't nobody be there at all time of nights. Like maybe have them there from like maybe 5 in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. I don't know, but and I get that that's a conflict because a lot of these new musical people, rappers, hip hop artists, whatever you guys want to call them, they like to work up into the wee hours of the morning. Like I've heard that from so many people. Like, oh, my creative mind comes in at midnight. They don't never leave, and that's true. I'm an author. That happens to me too. But I can't imagine me inviting my friends into somebody else's studio and then not watching them, and they mess it up, and then that falls on me. I just can't imagine that. So we hoping that they let us know what happens. I hope if they don't film this in the show at the reunion, y'all let us know what happened. What route did y'all go? Because I'm very curious about this. Anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best, before I move on to the next scene?
No.
All right, then here we go. So the next scene we show is Dr. Latoya and Anthony at their home. They're packing up because they're going to go to Orlando to Disney World. It's their son's 13th birthday. And they're packing with all their kids. And it was funny. I was texting Mrs. Best as I was watching this scene. I didn't realize they had a little girl too. I thought it was 3 boys. That's how far removed I am from this show. I thought they had 3 boys.
But funny is this man commenting like, "Oh, my family's spending my money." Isn't that the point of working hard so your family can spend your money? And separately, we ain't seen no invoices from the man movement. But I know Latoya owns a wine and she's also a sports doctor. Her money, sir.
Yeah,
Her money.
what does he do for a living again? Does anybody know what he does for a living?
He does something where he went to Atlanta, but clearly that didn't work out.
I don't remember what he did. I don't remember first. I remember he was going to see season one. The Atlanta thing was to work with Marvel. if I'm not mistaken, right? That's what. Okay, but we ain't heard nothing about that since. So I don't know. It's funny. Him and the other one that's married to Kim,
What?
questionable.
We see no evidence. We just hear about it.
Questionable. At least with Kim, we saw an office and we see events. I don't see nothing for the husband. Same thing goes for Anthony. I see this movement, but I don't see. But this is like something outside of the business chamber. He does some shit. That's all. Damn, Maya, I thought you was really putting the answer down. I was like, oh, okay, we got an answer finally. 'Cause I don't feel like going back and watching season one, y'all, because season one pissed me off. So I don't feel like watching that. So if someone can let me know in the comments what is Anthony and Marcel, I think that's his name, does for a living, because I know he said he does something with mortgages, but he never did expound on that because you can do many different things in that avenue. And then he's a motivational speaker. I've not seen anything. I don't follow them on social media. So if y'all want to post their information, feel free to do so because I'll look at it because it's not explainable on this TV platform. But anywho, the family's packing up and Dr. Minnie Mouse is getting annoyed with everybody because you have her daughter want to carry this baby doll, and she's all like, "No, just bring one toy." And then her sons are coming downstairs with just one little item of clothing. So she's getting. I'm fluent in Huntsville. Sorry. Oh, no worries. I just chose this 'cause there's nothing else. All my shows are coming back at the end of this year, so that's okay, Naya. But they're bringing out clothing. She's getting annoyed, and Anthony's like, "I got this. I got this." Like, why are you so uptight? Like, do you think that has something to do with your parents? And she gives us this backstory about how her parents were, in ministry. And if you guys know anything about ministry, a lot of the times, especially if your family is highly devoted into it, that takes them out of the household a lot of the times. They're praying for people, they're going on missions, they're doing a lot of different things where they kind of leave you in the care of either your oldest sibling or your grandparents. Somebody always kind of takes over, or even somebody from the church even stops by and, delivers a pot of beans and some cornbread. That's usually how those things go. So I'm sure, that was kind of her upbringing as well. So she's a control freak naturally because she doesn't want to miss what, sometimes her parents missed. And I think that needs to be treated. Like that kind of moment needs to be treated because you can be hands on, but not be hovering over your children. Because what that ends up causing is for them to sneak and then to do things behind your back that you are becoming shocked when it reveals itself to light. A lot of parents do this where you hover over your children, you try to watch every little moment of what they're doing and trying to keep a tight leash on them, but all you're doing is causing them not to come to you when things happen or when circumstances happen. That's how girls get pregnant. That's how boys go to jail. It's because you're way too tight. There needs to be a middle ground. Yes, be strict and be abundant, but also make sure that they understand that they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that are unnatural to them because they don't know what they're doing in the moment. So I feel, especially because their oldest is turning 13, that's a critical age because you're now transitioning into that puberty stage, high school, which are all pivotal. So I hope she gets that together. And I hated I had to agree with Anthony, but she does need to loosen that up some. How did you feel about that scene, Mrs. Best?
I think every parent and every child is different. So I think people should do what they know works for their child or the advice of a professional. But with Dr. Latoya, I think especially people who grow up in households that are different, super centered around religion, or have parents that travel, things like that. It's okay to consult with a therapist, but that's also why it's good to have both parents in the household because Anthony's one way, Latoya's another way, and it sounds and seems like they balance each other out, at least with the kids. So I will say that. But I was bored as a whole watching the scene. No disrespect to them. I just wasn't impressed or entertained, really.
Okay. It's I mean, it was just there. So another thing we're gonna go ahead and talk. I'm gonna get this thing out the way because there really wasn't much of nothing. We had Christina, Chelsea, and Lakeith. They are in some studio, and Christina is very serious about this music career. She's doing her exercises and doing everything to make sure she does those notes right. We'll see what happens with that. But Lakeitha walk in, and when she walks in, she kind of is very standoffish. So I could tell, like, she probably was apprehensive about doing the show. That's probably why Bravo was like on last season by himself. You could tell that she was shy and she really ain't for a camera because she's very soft spoken and just very just there in her shell. So when they sit down, Christina mentions to her, I want to see more of you. Like, you always seem to be behind Bravo. And Christina makes a relatable statement that she was always behind Brandon and she had to kind of adventure out on her own. And that's what this separation kind of taught her. And, and she always worries about Brandon and the safety. And that's what kind of opened up Lakeitha. She was like, yeah, that's what it is with me as well. She goes, I worry about him because he has all this jewelry on, all this flashy stuff. We're in Detroit. He works late nights, and I'm just scared, for his safety. And he does have security. We learned that Bravo does have security with him. So it's not too much of a tremble. But at the same time, you could tell that that does worry her. So now they're kind of changing the avenue a little bit where he's going to have some day ventures as well. So he's out in the daytime. So that way he doesn't have to focus so much primarily on the businesses and the lounges that are ran at night, which is smart because that puts her at ease. But things could happen in the daylight too, Lakeith. Like, you can't just live in this fear. Like, I get what she's saying because that's a trauma that she has personally from her own father. I totally get that. But at the same time, you know, this is an entrepreneur who is devoting his life and making sure that he opens his business not only to have a name, but to have a legacy that will pass down to your children. So I feel like
I don't buy it. You doing everything but getting help for yourself so you don't stress out. You know this isn't healthy. You know that the cause is because of what happened with your dad. So go get some therapy, go figure it out, but don't expect somebody else to change because of you. I think there's something else going on in that marriage that she don't want to talk about on TV, so she going back to this daddy issue. Because I don't buy it. I call bullshit. Sorry.
I agree with that. I do. I think there is something she's keeping away from the cameras and not wanting people to see. But I'm like, well, what could it be? Like, I don't understand. Like, because she don't give me someone that's being battered. She don't give me someone that's getting cheated on. I don't know what else it really could be. Like, it just because she don't really give me, but she did make a statement and I heard it and I was like, she goes, I don't care who you with. I just want you to come home. She did say it was something to that extent that she did say in that conversation. So it leads me to believe maybe there is something more there, but I don't know. It's just something. Yeah, I kind of agree, with Mrs. Beshaw. Something about this is just kind of like you can't just live in this fear. You've had kids, like you've grown way past 5 years old. I don't know how old Lakeitha is, but we know that she got to be somewhere between 35 and 45. She got to be somewhere between there because all of this crew is around that age. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know about her. I'm trying. I'm glad they brought her out just a little bit because maybe we've seen her interact with girls, the other ladies on the show. Maybe it may open her up a little bit more. But I need her to break this down a little bit. I need to know, okay, is this something that was constantly brought up? Are you seeking help for this? Did something else happen? Maybe Bravo was robbed once before and it scared her. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. I'm trying to dissect it because it is weird. It is weird to have that fear and y'all been married since before he had the businesses. So it makes me wonder, did y'all not have this conversation before he decided to open up the business? I don't know. It's weird, but I'm willing to tune in if they're going to expand upon it. Now, if they just on here just to be fillers, Carlos, because you usually don't do this shit. Usually we would have had an explanation, a side chick when it came out by now. I need to know more about Bravo and Lakeitha. And I know I'm calling her Lakeitha, y'all. I know that ain't her name, but that's what I'm gonna call her because I need to spice her up some kind of way on the show. She's just gonna be a filler. So Lakeitha is gonna be her name until she do something that I actually am going to enjoy. All right, all right. Anything else you want to talk about this thing, Mrs. Best, before we move on to
No,
King?
not at
Okay.
all. This episode was weak.
It really was, y'all. I'm trying to make this entertaining as hell. I really am. So Kim and her partner are having their D&D event for the charity toy drive that she's given. And she invites, influential people who are bringing in gifts and everything. And she's making her speech. And this is what they do. She's an influencer, but she loves to give back to charity. They, love, helping out the community because her and her husband are both from Detroit. And this is, something that they feel confident in, which is fine. Kobe and Russell show up to support, which was fine as well. I'm surprised none of the other couples were there, but I think probably by this time, Dr. Minnie Mouse and Anthony probably were out of town, and we know she's not going to invite Christina and Brandon. So I guess, I don't know where Bravo and Lakeitha was, but maybe they were working. So, but them the only two that show up, and she pulls Kim to the side, and they were talking about Christina, and she goes, "Well, have you heard anything?" This is Kobe inching her way in. I said, "Ooh, look at this mess." But she was inching. She goes, "Yeah, one of my friends came back and told me that I was a whole topic of conversation." And I'm looking at Kim like, "Oh Lord, this is all you needed, isn't it?" Like, okay. And she said that, I was there for Christina. I planned her baby shower. And when she wanted to do a brand ambassador, I was in her corner and everything. And she just lied and she just backstabbed me. And I'm like, can you give an example, please? The baby shower, fine. That's a segue. What happened to the baby shower? Did she just leave and say bye and then help clean up nothing? Did she, drop the ball on some food?
I
Like,
don't
what happened?
tell her. I think she was there and might have been cool with her at that time and knew of what was going on in the planning process. But I do not think that she actually planned the baby shower. And I think that's why half the cast didn't show up because Bravo's been alluding, like, oh, I got to see Kim's husband, like his wife ruined a couple events. Like, I don't think the cast messed with her. I think the only ones foolish and messy enough to deal with her are Colby and the ones on vacation with the doctor's money. Them is the only ones. I don't like Kim. I don't think I'm gonna like Kim. If someone was once my friend, I'm not gonna come on television coming for them. Even if my goal is not to be that cool with you, I'm not gonna come for you like that. You had to have stole my money and done more than talked about me having an Android phone in order for me to come on the show.
Thank you.
So
Yes, 'cause
what
I'm
did she do? Did she take your money? Did she sleep with your man? Did she try to sleep with your man? Did she talk
right.
about your mama? Did she talk about your child? Did she talk about your husband? What did she do? I need to know.
Yes, because it's like we trying to rally for you because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Like the adjectives that she used to describe Christina are on point. Absolutely, I can believe that about Christina. But the difference between Colby and Kim is Colby actually had an instance on season one where she should be able to feel the way she feels about Christina. Yes, they worked out their differences, and yes, it came off as some like haterade, mean girl ish that they did season one, but that was still valid. We were able to see it. The difference between that and then Kim's situations, we weren't able to see it because we weren't here 6 years ago with y'all. So we don't know what Christina did. And you're not telling us. So therefore, we cannot be like, see your point of it or understand where you're coming from if you don't let us in. And this is what's going to tie me into the last scene of this show. Christina and Kim finally meet up. And I'm not gonna go word for it because we kind of just we alluded to it with this thing with Colby and Kim, is that she still in Christina's face did not say what Christina did. And Christina asked her, "What did I do?" And all she said was, "You're a liar. You know that you did that. All you do is, trash my name." And then she pulled out stuff out of a bag and threw it on the floor, messing up these people's establishments. And I said, "Kim, you didn't have 5 episodes, five, five, to tell us in detail what Christina did. And we all are waiting for it. We're like, yes, say what she did so we can be like, oh, well, damn, because we know how Christina can be. But so far, you've delivered nothing. They're arguing about who was a brand ambassador first. They're arguing who had a clothing line first. They're talking about all kinds of stuff. I was like, okay, well, did she take a deal from you and that's why you feel the way you feel? Did she, were you supposed to be on this show first and Christina tarnished your name so you couldn't get on the show? Like, what is it? Because that's really what I think it is. And she can't really say it because she's on camera. I think what's going on here is I think maybe Kim was a front runner to be on the show season one, and maybe Christina got in the way of that. I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't know, but that's the only thing that Kim could come out her mouth and say where it would make me be like, okay, finally, I understand that now, based upon you doing the same thing she does and you having a business the same way she has one. I can understand this is an opportunity to spread and even widen my brand on a network. So I get it if that's really what it is. So that's just my logical guess. Mrs. Best, what is your logical guess of why Kim, since she can't come up with an answer?
I could give a flying fuck, James. She done took too long to tell me what the problem is, and therefore the amount of fucks I have to give has been lessened to zero. We're at a -2. That's where I'm at. I don't care anymore. You mad? You're throwing tutus around in the restaurant. Go donate. Go show your job. Go show your husband. I don't care anymore, Kim. I don't give a damn.
See, Kim, we tried. I tried to reason with you. I really did, ma'am. I tried to reason with you. We tried to give you the end. Either production isn't showing and you're actually saying what it is, and production's not showing it, or you really don't have a reason. You're just coming out with shit out your ass and just throwing it at everybody, trying to get something to stick, and it's not sticking. And we as a society, as recappers, we like to know before we pick sides or say someone is wrong. We need to know what the wrong is. So Kim, if you watch, I doubt she watches me, y'all. I doubt she does. But Kim, if you are watching, at this point, I don't care anymore. So at the reunion, you need to pull out those receipts. We need to know what it is, because at the reunion you can let it all out. So yes, pretty much. This is what it is. Yeah, pretty much. And so I'm done with it. I'm done. So when Kim, y'all, I don't want to have to do Kim like I do Heather Gay on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't want to have to do her like that. But I will if she don't stop this, because this is ridiculous. So they pretty much end the scene with a cliffhanger. So it's gonna take her to episode 6. I'm hoping that she says exactly what it is that Christina supposedly had done. So I'm hoping that that's what it is. I'm hoping she says it. If she don't say nothing, y'all, we going in on the first 15 minutes of my next video. I promise you, because I know Mrs. Best is gonna get mad that I'm making her watch this mess.
I'm already tired. I really am. I be bored. I be cleaning up, making pancakes, doing other shit, watching the episode because why are they giving Kim so much camera time if she has nothing to give? Is my thing. I'd rather see other people if that's the case. It's not that the show is bad, it's that the editing is terrible. And bringing people on knowing that this is all they have to give, they should have switched up the cast or threatened or dropped something, but this is too much. Kim is on my nerve. I don't even care for Christina, but at this
I
point, I'm
don't,
for her.
and that's the crazy thing. I don't even care for Christina. I don't like. I at the same time, I'm fair. I cannot care for you, but still, in the battle between you and someone else, I still will hear your side and give you your fair chance to prove what may or may not have happened. And Christina is starting out with what did I do? And the fact that Kim can't give us a solid answer, the only thing that we got was a baby shower that she threw with a conversation between her and Kobe. And it was funny because I remember it was like, well, I want to tell the person who it belongs to the problem that I'm having, but Kim is not doing that. Kim literally has been in this lady's face several times and is still has not said what the issue is. All we heard was an Android versus iPhone phone story that a friend of hers, so it wasn't even Christina, it was a friend of hers who had an argument with Kim. And then we heard about this baby shower. Is that it? Is there something else? Like Mrs. Best said, did she take some money from you? Because then I can see that's a reason to be mad. I don't think she slept with that man. I don't think that we just this is all alleged talk. This is, us being entertaining. We're trying to figure it out, Kim. We can't figure it out if you won't open your mouth and then say what it is. But that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Excuse me. This is Love and Marriage Detroit, season 2, episode 5. I can't wait for them to go on hiatus because they are not giving. They are not giving at all. This drama is so ridiculous and silly. It's one thing for your main cast members to have, kind of a melodrama, but it's another when the friends of are giving more than the cast. Because Chelsea need to be a main cast member at this point, because she's the only person that's giving. She's the only person that's giving. She's the only person that's going toe to toe with people, pregnant and all. So Chelsea needed to be a main cast member. Carlos, I'm mad you dumped the ball on Chelsea, because that's who needed to be in the main credits instead of Lakeitha and Bravo over there, who we can't even get what the hell they're going through. And then Kim and Marcel, where Kim can't even give a straight story on why she mad at Christina. Justice for Chelsea on this damn episode. Hell, I'm rooting for Chelsea to be a main cast member next. Chelsea, if you want to be a main cast member, y'all better. We championing you for that contract to come on your doorstep in your mailbox. We champion that. I don't know about Mrs. Best, but I am definitely championing because you're the only one that's giving. So, but that's it, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, to both channels. Me and Mrs. Best's channel will both be premiering new shows tomorrow. Me, it's Real Housewives of Potomac. Mrs. Best is going to be doing Queen's Court. So you guys do not want to miss either one, because we know we're going to go watch it now, but we know that this is going to be some crazy mess, especially because Queen's Court has Lisa Ray, not K Michelle. Is it K Michelle? Yeah, K Michelle and Delicious from Flavor of Love. Oh, I can't wait to get into this. So I know y'all can't wait to see that happen. So make sure. Were you saying, gonna say something, Mrs. Best? She gonna say.
Everybody tune in and pray for me getting through Love and Marriage Detroit, because I'm on my last strength of strength.
Hey, look, we trying. Queen's Court does come on tonight. It premieres on Peacock tonight, and Bravo will be airing it as well. So yes, it does come on tonight, and so does Real Housewives of Potomac. That comes on tonight as well. So we will be here tomorrow. I don't know what time, y'all, because I have a funny schedule tomorrow, but we will be getting here. Thank you, Naya. We appreciate you. This day when we appreciate you. I know Shayna was in here. Jim Bunny was in here. Thank you guys so much. Any new subscribers, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you. We're here every week recapping your favorite shows. So we're excited for the new ones to drop tomorrow. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.